Good people, my people. I just want to take the time to discuss the word asset. As you already know, we did, discuss the word debt. So let's talk about a little bit of what an asset is. They don't really push that a whole lot, through grade school, from K through 12. So I just wanted to touch on it a little bit, for the brothers and sisters that, might need a deeper understanding. An asset is something that, when you put money into, it's going to give back money. Not a whole lot at one time, but it's going to be consistent. If you buy a vehicle, just a regular personal car, that's not an asset. Now, if you buy a car and you're using it for, like Grubhub or Toro, or it's a vehicle and it's being used to produce, now it becomes an asset. But if it's your personal vehicle, it's a liability because you're doing nothing but dumping money into it more and more and more, and it's taking you to and from work, but at the end of the day, it's not bringing money in nowhere near as much as it's costing you. So vehicles have always been known to be a purchase where it just depreciates. Rather if it's a luxury car, sports car, a truck, vehicle, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, it has to produce. At the end of the day, in order for it to be considered an asset. You can you can purchase a home, the home you live in. But that home is not an asset really. I mean, it's close to being one, but it's not one. And at the same time, it's not a true liability, but it is. I mean, you're locked in with a 30-year mortgage or 20-year, whichever one you signed up for, and you are dedicated to that. So that brings in the liability, not to mention all of the repairs that need to be done, your property taxes. So all of that is on the liability side. Your asset side would be one column and one thing only. If it's hard times, you can pull money out, a loan. But that loan ain't clearing free. It's a loan. So that there's an illusion that it's an asset. So if you ask me, unless your house is more than just a dwelling, and and it's a home-based business and multiple other things going on under the roof, I would consider it an asset at that point. But if you're not multi-using your home, it's a liability. Trust me. And I've been in real estate for about 15 to 20, I would say 15 years. I'm not gonna say 20. I'm gonna say I've been involved in it 15 years. And a lot of people have that misconception, and I'm just not going to continue to be the one to pass it off. So again, know what you're spending your money on. Jewelry, people, from a different ethnic background, they love jewelry, gold chains, platinum chains, whatever it is, man, rings, watches. And that right there is kind of hard to explain. Well, not necessarily. You can purchase a Rolex watch and all of these other fine things. And it appears to be an asset, to the person who got liquid cash on hand. Oh, I'm going to purchase this presidential Rolex and it's valued at this. Or I'm going to get this Breitling or this Patek. And, whatever all these other new watches are nowadays. But at the end of the day, it's face value. You can't really do nothing with that watch if the economy crash. If it's 1929 all over again and the Wall Street it drops, you can't do nothing with that watch. The gold maybe, but the watch itself is not a high priority at the time. Whereas your house is, and raw gold is, and whatever resources that you have that's edible or can be, considered as a necessity during a time. So if it's not a necessity during that time of a depression, it's not an asset. So that's the one thing people need to look at. When a recession hits, you're going to have to double check and see that, what is it that you have that's an asset for real, and what's only an asset due to, the economy doing good. So like I said, man, jewelry, a slight recession, yeah, you can pawn it and do whatever you want with it or auction it off, and you might take a hit, might only get 60% of what it's worth or whatever, but it depreciate, but not by a lot. But again, that's jewelry. Next situation I would say that wouldn't be an asset. I mean, right now it is because the economy is okay. But at the end of the day, when the economy, goes sideways, it's not going to be an asset. And that's, these pictures and arts, the Mona Lisas and things of that nature. Like, again, it's an asset when the economy is okay. But when it comes down to, hey, the money ain't right, and, businesses are closing, banks ain't lending, you can't eat a Mona Lisa picture. You know what I mean? And the pawn shop is, hey, we don't know nobody need to buy it at this time. So, at the end of the day, and again, it's like, what is it worth, man? So you need to really do a check and balance on real assets versus the fictitious assets that are, valuable only at the moment. You have things that are valuable no matter what, and then you have things that hold its value, through the test of time. So, that's just a quick, crash lesson on assets. Maybe it'll help some brothers and sisters, maybe it won't, I don't know. But like I said, just try to be aware of, how you spend your money. Be a conscious consumer, Don't just be out there throwing your money around, as, commercials dictate you do. What they programming. Again, we did a little something on that word, program. They program us to be, just trend chasers, chase the trend, whatever your favorite, rap artist, R&B, and celebrity, actor, whoever, sports figure, icon, whatever they're doing is fine, and that's what they program us with. But I'm telling you that our pockets ain't long like theirs. You know, Again, we can't afford to not be a conscious consumer. You know, I was a victim of it, and it always kept me in the chase, and always kept me broke. Because at the end of the day, we never want to be broke. We never want to be without. But you will be without if you constantly chasing a trend. So again, forget about being a trend chaser, and focus on assets, and know what's a liability. You know, and your debt. If you go into debt, you want it to be, where it's gonna be getting you out of debt within X amount of time, and you're only gonna get out of debt either by just working hard and paying it off, or purchasing an asset. You know, Prime example and the last example. If I'm awarded $200,000, that's credit, and I choose to make a purchase with it, I can go purchase me a Lamborghini, which is going to depreciate, in a matter of, each month and every mile I put on it. That car's going to be less if I need to sell it. Or I can take that $200,000 and go buy me an apartment building. And now that apartment building, depending on how many units is in there, how many different, homes and people living in it, it's going to produce certain numbers a month, certain residuals. Do you understand what I'm saying? Each unit is going to produce $1,000 a month. Now, let's just say I have, 18 units. That's $18,000 a month. Now you take that $18,000 a month and you minus, your mortgage payment on that, which could be, we'll say, hypothetically, we'll say that the mortgage payment is, 7 grand a month. At the end of the day, you still cleared 11 grand. And out that 11 grand, you might have your property taxes and your upkeep. And so we'll throw another 3 grand off to the side. But at the end of the day, that property, that asset is paying for itself. And once it's paid off, it's still going to produce. You don't kill a cow if there's nothing wrong with it. You milk it. You milk it, and you bottle it up and you sell it. So again, my brothers, sisters, pay attention, man. Quit throwing your money away, on trendy stuff, nails, the hair, the clothing. Brothers, you got it bad with these wheels and these knockoff diamonds that they selling you at a high rate. Yeah, the diamonds in your watches and jewelry. It's real to a degree, but it ain't Mother Earth diamonds. It's manufactured. So, brothers, I'm just trying to bring some awareness and get you guys to be a conscious consumer, man. I want you to know exactly, what it is, man. That's all it is, brothers and sisters. Yeah, I figure like, if we knew better, we can do better. And that's what I'm out here to do, man. Teach each one, teach one. Because that's the only way this thing change. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. Good people. I love you.